I admit, I do a little bit of trolling. No, it wasn't trolling. Okay, I did a video earlier this morning. Right now it's 8:36 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, December the 6th, 2016. About 3 hours or so ago, I got back from the Hopkins media workout here in Philly for his last fight against Joe Smith. That's on HBO, December 17th, 2016. So before I left, I would say a couple hours, maybe 3 hours before I left, which was about 1:30 or so, I did a video like around 11 a.m. or so, and I had put a post on my Facebook saying Golovkin Jacobs, March 11th, HBO pay-per-view. But when I do things like that, if you notice, for example, if you look at all my titles of every single one of my videos, or when I do stuff like to say something official or not, what I'll do is I'll share it on all of my social media platforms, all at one time. Or if there's like any breaking news, and I'll put punctuation marks. Now, from what I've learned, like in the media business, no fight is official until the promoter tweets it. Not no media member. The promoter tweets it, or announces it, one of the fighters announce it, or you receive a press release. Now, usually when a promoter or a fighter release it, say like put the news out, then you'll get a press release with it. From the promoter saying, yes, it's true. Then there's going to be a press conference on this day, or yada, 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 and they'll say some shit like taking information coming soon. Golovkin versus Jacobs is not official. You can always say stuff like, well, I heard it's done. Or they're just trying to, it's really, really done, but they're just trying to wait and figure out some overseas money or some shit. They're trying to figure out if they want to put it at Madison Square Garden, but Al Heyman and Danny Jacobs' team really wants it in Barclays. Shit like that. But the issue is, now the time has come because the WBA has got to keep their word, and we got to make sure they keep their word. Because they've already extended this shit way too long. They got to get a deal done. They can't fight nobody else, or one of them is going to get stripped. Whether it's Golovkin or whether it's Jacobs. Right now, I believe they have about 6 days or less to get a deal done, or the WBA is saying, or supposed to be saying, because they can be finessed, massage those shoulders. They can be finessed. But the WBA is saying that get it done, or we're really calling the purse bid this time. But you know how many times I've seen the WBA call a purse bid and then push it back, and then push it back, and then push it back for multiple fights? So I believe it when I see it. But Golovkin is holding steady. He's saying they're not going to fight nobody else but Jacobs. But if you look at it, the pickings are pretty slim. So you can say, well, if you don't fight Jacobs, go after Billy Joe Saunders, and the WBA shouldn't strip him because it's unification. No, the WBA is saying, remember, they're saying, we don't know for sure because they're never consistent, is saying he can't fight nobody else. Danny Jacobs can't fight nobody else. One of them belts, one of y'all going to get stripped, or or something's going to happen. You got to fight. So it's supposed to be happening on March the 11th on HBO pay-per-view. The reason why pay-per-view is people saying, well, who Golovkin fought? He don't deserve more money than Jacobs. Who Jacobs fought? He don't deserve more money than Golovkin. So in order for this fight to happen, it has to be on pay-per-view to satisfy Danny Jacobs, because let's be honest, he's the underdog. Danny Jacobs making enough money to be set up, because if he loses, he's got to build his way back all the way up again. I mean, I get another payday like that. So I would say he might make between $2 to $5 million. And if the pay-per-view does, people are saying it's going to do piss poor. But if it does $150K, and it could, a lot of people are saying that Golovkin versus Lemieux numbers were $90K. What happened to the one? I thought it was $150K. But yet, when an unofficial number comes out and no real numbers are ever confirmed, there's always that speculation. But only certain groups of people, people who really, really despise Golovkin, they take that $90K and they spread it everywhere. So, that's how it works. But guess what? 2017 is a brand new year, and I am going to be at that fight. We're doing everything we're supposed to be doing. We're providing consistent dedicated coverage. We'll soon have print media. We already got some exclusives stacked away. We already got articles, written in retrospect, stacked away. Fight View 360 is coming. Go check out the video I did for the naysayers if you don't know what's going on. What else did I miss? We just got to hope that Canelo versus Golovkin happens if if Golovkin wins. But listen, when was the last time outside of Curtis Stevens you can say, okay, put it this way. I feel that Danny Jacobs is a more skilled fighter overall than Curtis Stevens, in my personal opinion. I feel that he's a better overall fighter than David Lemieux. It's my personal opinion. And Gabriel Rosado, my personal opinion. Marco Antonio Rubio, my God, my personal opinion. So when you look at the list of the last, let's go look at them. That's what we're here for. Let's go look at them. And my videos are still in edit. Oh, that one's done. Okay, so we can unprivate that one. Which one will I upload next? Oh yeah, let me stay on track. I just did it on this one. Sorry about that. As you know, I do all my videos live and uncut, so there's no script. I just get up here and just start running my mouth. Okay. Danny Jacobs is better than Dominic Wade. Danny Jacobs is better than David Lemieux. Danny Jacobs is not skill-wise. How can I put it? See, him and Willie Monroe just didn't have the power to keep Golovkin off of him. Danny Jacobs does. Danny Jacobs is a better fighter than Martin Murray, Marco Antonio Rubio, Daniel Gill, Usman Adama, Curtis Stevens, Matthew Macklin, Nobuhiro Ishida, Gabriel Rosado, Gargaros Proska. So if you look at, the reason why I didn't mention Kell Brook was a smaller fighter, but if you look at what Kell Brook was able to do before he got his eye socket broken, if you look at what he was able to do, what if that is coming from a full-fledged, strong, young, skilled middleweight in Danny Jacobs? I know Golovkin is good. He doesn't get respect for being good, but he's good. But I wonder when he says, I tell them, I taste your power. When he says all that stuff, when he's taking those clean shots, he'd be like, oh my God, why do you want to get punched in the face? Either you're just that good or it's a defensive flaw. I think that Danny Jacobs has the opportunity, if Danny Jacobs comes into that ring, and I know they're thinking about it in the back of their head. It just seems, okay, we don't know. It just seems as though they're thinking like, yo, Danny, Golovkin probably going to beat you the fuck up. But remember what people said about Lucas Matisse and Danny Garcia. Remember that? They were saying Danny was going to get decapitated. And I remember Danny Garcia was at the Lamont Peterson fight, and that Showtime camera zoomed in on him, and you seen like that look in Danny's face like, fuck. And I got no choice. I'm going to have to go in there and whoop his ass. And he did. Danny Jacobs got to have that same mindset. He's got to go in there and be like, yeah, I'm going to knock Golovkin. I got to stop cursing. I'm going to knock Golovkin out. But he's got to understand that you're going in there, you're fighting Golovkin. You got to go to war. You got to go to war. You got to be war ready. So, hey, for Jacob to say that he want more time for training camp and he want, to make sure he eating good afterwards, then, yo, bro, you got to go to war. You got to go to war, because really any fighter, all it takes for you to crack him a few times. I seen just a very glimpse of Curtis Stevens, a glimpse of Curtis Stevens. I forgot what round that was, of cracking Golovkin once, had Golovkin do a little dance. He had him do a little dance. The body can only take so much, especially if you give somebody an equilibrium shot or punch somebody dead in their liver, punch them right in the upper part of their stomach, so... people are saying they're not going to buy the fight. This is one of those fights where people are going to be watching. They're going to be really hype over it. So talk all that shit you want. We got to support the sport, man. Gotta support the sport, man. Come on. Come on. TstreeT Controversy. This is TstreeT Controversy Live. I cover every single major fight live. Please subscribe. All the links to my social media are right down below. In the description box. Please subscribe.